This is Artist Unusual. Hello, I'm Randy Wall, and welcome to Artist Unusual. Stories of art from the original source, interviews, and art jargon. Artist Unusual is about giving artists of all kinds a platform from which audience members can engage into their work. And in this episode we have On-Location Interview. Hello, I'm Randy Wall, and welcome to Artist Unusual On Location. We're here at the Hive Gallery in downtown Los Angeles in the Temple of Visions exhibit. We're here with Amanda Sage. How are you today?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Great. I've noticed that your work, by the way, your work is wonderful. I'm looking, and it's very calming. It's very organic. And do you find your motivations from organic sources, or how do you feel about your work, and what comes to you?
Well, I guess it's always different. I think every piece that I do is unique in itself, and I don't really know in a logical sense maybe where it comes from. Sometimes I have a portrait or something that I want to portray, but a lot of times I try to listen and I try to feel, and in that sense it is very organic, and there's a developing a more and more organic symmetry. I just feel this kind of want and need for balance. Maybe I'm trying to balance the two sides of my brain. Maybe I'm trying to balance this crazy life we live in, and I find a lot of peace when I paint, and it also helps me expand my consciousness, I think, and hopefully the people that view it.
Thank you for sharing that philosophy about your work. Let's take a look at a few of your pieces.
These are all prints. The originals are quite a bit bigger. This piece is titled Aries. It was actually the beginning of a series of the zodiac, the 12 zodiac signs that I wanted to do, and I still will. This, though, is done as an etching, which is millions of little dots on copper, the old master's technique, and I print it myself on a 300-year-old press. So there's no computer here, no computer, and it's an edition of '69. And the inspiration, this is a self-portrait pretty much, Aries, and I began with Aries, I'm an Aries. I love to work big and I love to work really small, it doesn't matter. It's just like, you just get into a trance and it's just like the little dots are like, I got tendinitis while I was doing this too, so yeah, for a little while.
Wow. The next print we discussed in Amanda's exhibit comes from an iconic American figure that was inspired by a photograph taken in Arizona.
Buffalo Bill Back to Save the West is this painting. And he's in this kind of like, he's got pink hair, it's kind of floating, so he's kind of interdimensional, and he's got like this ring in his nose and a turquoise mustache and beard, and the contrails in the background. There's a grid that's going through all of it. This is like a real multimedia piece. I did the grid with spray paint and then work it up and pull and push with egg tempera and acrylic and oil. So this grid is kind of symbolizing also America, actually symbolizing time, the matrix, interweaving time. So it's a subtle critique, maybe. Have we lost ourselves?
These two images, called Venus and Mars, were originally created as Sphinx to balance a central figure called
Removing the Dust, which is a self-portrait of myself going like this, popping out my own temples and laughing, of course. What is this all about? Who is the God above it all? Who is the big creator? It's me. It's us, And so then I have these two as sphinxes on either side, which were symbolic of two bracelets, turquoise and orange, which are very, very important colors to me.
This work was commissioned and was required to fit into Amanda's Egg series.
And I painted this recently. It's titled New Beginnings. I just kind of went with a feeling. We talked about color, and I just started doing sketches, and I just work in layers. It looks kind of symmetrical in a sense, but it's not at all. I haven't used any tracing paper or anything, any projection methods. I can get so lost in this, and I'm like, at some point I just got to tell myself, stop, let it be, and it can always stop. And it was like, when is a painting really finished? I always think about what Picasso said. He said, when it's sold. But there's these two kind of beings or faces that I feel like came through that were not intentional. And there's one up here. You can see it down here. It's almost like this dragon mouth, like opening, like holding this. And then this is more of like almost like a praying mantis, like coming out. And so it's like these two kind of like beings coming together in this birth. incubation. And yeah, that's what I'm doing, you know? It's like my paintings are reflecting me, what I'm going through, trying to figure out what is this all about. And I feel like that's what everybody else is doing.
And here is an image that came to Amanda as she was having a hair revision.
It's inspiration from Burning Man, something that you would see out of the corner of your eye in the desert. It could extend, you know, it could turn into this. It started as a sketch, but yeah, I love this little painting.
This is a print from an etching on a copper plate named Tara, and yet there is a special characteristic in the creation of this image.
This technique, though, is different than any of my other pieces. It's called mezzotint. And this is an old technique where you agitate the plate, the copper plate, so many times with this tool that has all these little teeth in it. And so you make this like kind of rough structure, a balanced rough structure over the whole plate. You polish with another tool. You push down the surface in the places where you want the light to come through. I do these in Vienna, Austria.
This painting was originally inspired from a portrait, and on the day of this portrait, Little M was having a hair quandary with a fallen mohawk.
I spent like all morning putting it up. So I was like, oh, come on, we can fix it. We can do something with it. So I got this wire and wove some wire in there and made this, and it turned into this really cool sculpture, you know. And she had a little dread here, and yeah, it's just so cute. And the ornamental, this is a part of some of the other pieces where I'm using kind of stencils in the background with spray paint and then just working over that and kind of integrating the images with the pattern behind it.
These original works were painted on recycled wood, and when asked, who are these people? Are they friends? Are they relatives?
Yeah, they're like my daughters, what I'd figured. It's a good way to put it. I mean, if I'm going to make somebody up, it's going to be a different me, a different character. And this is Flora and Babylonia. She's got this headdress of buildings and lights and smoke or whatever, and the incinerator at the top, maybe. It also has to do something with symmetry, I guess. And you can put anything, like you can put anything in an egg, you can put anything on somebody's head.
Amanda's art asserts a feeling of balance and organic awareness, and these unusual images could leave the viewer with a sense of relaxation.